A thread by Carlos Oswita. Richard Marx is a perfect example of the worst that Twitter has to offer. This claim about Donald Trump is either a lie or the result of a non functional brain. The snark with the little wink indicate a bad faith commenter, but also stupidity. Richard Marx tweeted, "Hi, the actual elephant in the room is why, after 4 years of Trump at the Resolute desk, is the swamp still as full as ever? That is the elephant in the room, sir. Winky face." Carlos continues. A certain type of conservative is obsessed with orange jumpsuits. They themselves say that unless they see orange jumpsuits, Trump is not doing his job. And then on the other side are those who think they're winning. Both positions are ridiculous. The reason they're ridiculous is that they show how superficial the person is. I've never had any patience for people who claim that Soros or the Clintons or the Rothschilds are an existential threat. Soros himself admitted that he's failed. Hillary didn't win. Enough said. And the Rothschilds have been the target of nutters for centuries. The family poses no threat. Big tech moguls and multiple other collectivist billionaires are the threat, but not in the way you think. The key word is collectivist. Chicago Tribune, September 25th, 1927, page 26, column 6. All over China, blackmail goes on in spite of pledges by all factions to abolish it. None of this goes for national or provincial purposes. China, with all her virgin wealth, with all her intensive labor and cultivation of the soil, is riding to bankruptcy and riding swiftly. This was during the warlord period when multiple factions fought for power of the Republic of China under the Beiyang government. Blackmail. It goes back centuries in China. The Chinese have always felt that they were more than an empire. They see themselves as the only civilized people on earth. China in traditional Chinese, as opposed to China in simplified Chinese. Those of you just listening, Carlos is writing the words for China in the actual Chinese script. I can't really pronounce this very well, but I'm going to try. Zhongguo, middle state, middle kingdom. In the middle, between heaven and earth, above everyone else. It can also mean central state or central kingdom, the center of the world. The People's Republic of China, Red China, was founded on October 1st, 1949. China has always been very poorly run, and the Chinese Communist Party, hereinafter CCP, is no different from any previous government. But the threat that China poses is tied to its economic growth. The GDP only tells part of the story. There's a hidden income stream that allows the CCP to rake in cash used entirely to blackmail and buy off politicians, media moguls, entertainment studios, captains of industry, academics, scientists, and these assholes. The Soviet Union and the Russian Federation kompromat, that's Russian for compromising material tactic, is laughably amateurish compared to the scope of Chinese blackmail and bribery. The CCP's slaves are always well compensated for their slavery. We have no idea how much the CCP has in its slavery fund, almost certainly trillions. The slaves keep replenishing the fund. They bring deals to China. And the goal for the Chinese isn't mere propaganda. It's the total destruction of all Western powers, subjugation. The climate change cult is undoubtedly funded by the CCP. What better way to cripple us than the Green New Deal? Quote, Biden believes the Green New Deal is a crucial framework for meeting the climate challenges we face. From JoeBiden.com, Plan for Climate Change and Environmental Justice. I love that word, justice. Ever wondered why Europe keeps importing refugees who siphon off funds, lower the quality of life, rape, and occasionally go on murderous rampages? The Chinese are behind it. In our country, it was illegals from Mexico and Central and South America. What the Chinese can't do by force, they do by blackmail and bribery. Their goal is to finally become the Central Kingdom. But somebody stole their blackmail and bribery database. It wouldn't have been in a manned facility. And the CCP is entirely centralized, so it would have been in one place. A piece of cake for men and women who crossed 5-mile deep minefields in 90 minutes, or who rescued Brigadier General Tarek Abdullah Saleh in the middle of a gigantic Houthi ambush, or who assassinated Hezbollah's top military commander, Mustafa Badreddin, in Syria. He'd avoided the Israelis for decades. Every single Russian general sent to Syria was killed, so Putin stopped sending them. The Iranian Quds Force was wiped out. I found a perfect description of what constitutes a great special operations soldier. Someone equally adept as a singleton and a team player. At one point, the Saudis were fighting at least 5 wars simultaneously: Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Libya, South America. So stealing the Chinese blackmail and bribery database was easy as pie for them. Someone asked me if the compromised politicians are now off the hook. Hell no. We want them to continue doing the bidding of their panicked, frenzied masters. Today, we have new rioting in DC, Seattle, and Minnesota. Exactly the worst thing that could happen to the Democrats. How about this from Breitbart? University of Wisconsin Madison student government votes to remove racist Abraham Lincoln statue. Now Lincoln is a racist. The frenzy is a mass production factory of Trump voters, so we want them to keep it up. After Trump's landslide victory, there won't be a reason for Trump to hold back. I hope I've explained why it's really dumb to be fixated on orange jumpsuits. Nothing stops until the Chinese Communist Party is stopped. Do you get it now? While you were bitching, Trump was frying the largest fish that ever swam. This is why it's a good idea to stop flapping your gums about things you picked up from some rank opportunist. Try this chilling thought on for size. Most of the people you admire are bought and paid for by the Chinese Communist Party. The world is the swamp, and you're all pouty because Trump hasn't fixed the world yet? Change your worldview. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on everything that's happening for real. It's pretty miraculous.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.